Joshua chapter 24 verse 1 says this: Then Joshua assembled all the tribes of Israel at Shechem. He summoned the elders, leaders, judges and officials of Israel, and they presented themselves before God. Now, in this particular chapter 24 in the book of Joshua, we see that Joshua is very old in years, and the time has come for him to basically pass on. He's near the end of his life. And so he gathers all the tribes of Israel, and he calls for all the heads, the judges and the officers and those that are in charge of all the tribes. And it's his time to address the people. And there's a scene where God takes over, and God reminds them of where he has brought them from. God takes them back to the days of Abraham. He takes them back to the days of Isaac and Jacob. And he takes them back to the days when Moses rescued them from bondage in Egypt and brought them through. And he reminds them of everything that he has done. Now, when we look at this chapter, it's very, very relevant and something that we can all relate to. You know, when we go through times of trials and tribulations, when we go through certain struggles in our life, if you will, it's so easy to forget where God has brought us from. It's so easy to forget that God has been there with us all the way through. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 12 says this: For this reason I will not be negligent to remind you always of these things, though you know and are established in the present truth. In other words, we need to remind ourselves of the things that God has done. When life doesn't go quite as we'd planned, when things go pear-shaped as they often will, we need to look back on our life and we need to remember that which God has done for us. And we need to hang on to those promises that God has given to us. Psalm 71 verse 8 says, My mouth is filled with your praise all day long. We need to be praising him. We need to be lifting up his name, even when we feel down in spirit, because we can look back and we can see God's hand in every inch of our life. Joshua chapter 24 verse 15 says, As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Today I want to ask you, are you reminding yourself of what God has done for you? Are you saying, as for me, I will serve the Lord, regardless of how I feel, regardless of what I'm going through right now, regardless of the struggle I'm going through or facing? Today, will you seek God? Will you trust God about your situation? And will you thank God regardless, because of where he's brought you to? Now I pray that this video encourages you, and I pray that this video blesses you. And remember, Jesus is the light of this world. God bless you.
It says this: our God is awesome. He can move mountains. Keep me in the valley